Let's talk about North Korea. It has just warned of a nuclear war in space.
The Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles. We will have the best system ever built.
After China and Russia, North Korea has said that US President Donald Trump's plans to make a Golden Dome is risking a nuclear war in space. So the obvious questions are, can the Golden Dome lead to a nuclear war in space? Are North Korea and China right to be worried? And does the United States really need a Golden Dome? I'm Ananya Dutta and you're watching Grey Zone. Whenever we think about the Golden Dome, a Wakanda-like security dome comes to our minds. We're yet to reach that point, but a man can dream. And the man is US President Donald Trump. He wants to create an umbrella of satellites which will detect, track, and potentially intercept incoming missiles. While the roots of these plans are believed to be coming from Israel's Iron Dome, that isn't entirely true. The 1980s Ronald Reagan administration had also plans of building a similar defense infrastructure that was referred as Star Wars. The plan was to develop a space-based missile defense program that could protect the country from a large-scale nuclear attack. It was in the aftermath of a Cold War with the Soviet Union. The plan did not come to its fruition, but Trump's plan might see a different fate.
We make a historic announcement about the Golden Dome missile defense shield. That's something we want. And Ronald Reagan wanted it many years ago, but they didn't have the technology. But it's something we're going to have. We're going to have it at the highest level.
He's touting the program as the keystone to his military planning. It will cost the American taxpayers a whopping $175 billion and will be operational in the next 3 years, hopefully before Trump's journey in the White House ends. At least that's what's being said.
The Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space. And we will have the best system ever built. As you know, we helped Israel with theirs and it was very successful, and now we have technology that's even far advanced from that.
But there is one problem. American adversaries have been left confused and furious with Trump's plan. After China and Russia expressed their apprehensions, the latest to join the bandwagon is North Korea, and Pyongyang has released the most severe warning so far. It has said, and I'm quoting, "The US plan to building a new missile defense system is the root cause of sparking off the global nuclear and space arms race by stimulating the security concerns of nuclear weapon states and turning outer space into a potential nuclear warfield." The United States is hell-bent on the moves to militarize outer space. A nuclear war in space is as dangerous as it sounds. Warheads raining down from beyond the Earth's atmosphere, faster-than-sound cruise missiles striking infrastructure, and sky-high nuclear blasts.
Thinking about space as a domain that has a pretty core security purpose is something of a sea change. So traditionally we've used space for intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance capabilities, and now we're actually talking about assets that will be, living inside of space and performing a core, defensive purpose.
China has also expressed strong concerns about Washington's Golden Dome plan, accusing the United States of undermining global stability.
The plan openly calls for a significant expansion of outer space combat capabilities, including the development and deployment of orbital interception systems. This has a strong offensive nature and violates the principle of peaceful use advocated by the Outer Space Treaty. It will exacerbate the militarization of outer space and the risk of an arms race, undermining international security and the arms control framework.
Meanwhile, Russia has been more diplomatic, where it branded the move as a sovereign matter for the US, but also urged consulting Moscow for the plan. Now let's give these statements some context. What Trump is proposing is Israel's Iron Dome system, but much larger and much more lethal. It will not only use sensors on the ground, but also in space. And this is where the problem starts. There is already an ongoing arms race between the US, China, and Russia, with all three countries modernizing and expanding their nuclear arsenal, as well as developing space-based systems to support their militaries. Beijing is closing the gap with Washington when it comes to ballistic and hypersonic missile technology, while Moscow is modernizing its intercontinental range missile systems. Much less is known about North Korea, but the missile man is estimated to have assembled 50 nuclear warheads, as well as advanced chemical and weapons of destruction. But the fact that the Golden Dome is making Pyongyang angry could mean that its arsenal isn't strong enough to stand against the New Age system.
There are significant concerns in both Beijing and Moscow around the US investment in missile defense. That has been true since 2002 when America left the ABM treaty. I think that ultimately what they fear and what a lot of strategists fear who work on deterrence issues is that there's kind of an incentive to potentially be more aggressive given that you have this missile defense shield to fall back on.
So there's no doubt that we are entering uncharted territory, and with uncertain plans come unpredictable risks. Trump's Golden Dome needs to be more than 350 times the size of Israel's Iron Dome, and maybe that gives us a hint about Trump's ambitions. The Golden Dome is not just a defense project. It's a signal that the battlefield is moving beyond borders, beyond land and sea, into space. The problem is that by the time we realize that countries like China, Russia, and North Korea see this not just as a threat, but as a provocation, the bus of peace might have left the station. I'm Ananya Dutta. You've been watching Grey Zone. Thank you.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.